So my next guest today is Dave Raby. He's the president and CEO of STI Electronics from Huntsville, Alabama.
Great to see you, Dave. Good to see you too, Trevor.
Okay. So you're one of these fairly unique companies. You're one of the early adopters of putting clean rooms into your manufacturing area.
Yes.
It's allowed you to do a lot of advanced packaging and other work.
Right.
You couldn't do otherwise, that you would have to contract out.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that story.
Okay, it's we've actually put a clean room in our old building, which was 20 years ago now, because there was a particular job we were working on that required it.
Right.
When we expanded we built a new building, we built one in there also, made it larger, put several pieces of equipment in there. And then, quite honestly, for a while, I wondered why I did that, because it's really expensive
It is.
if you're not using it all the time.
Right.
But we have found work that needed it, and it's work that we wouldn't have gotten any other way. Some of our military, or government-related business has required certain things to be done in there. So that was something that we weren't using necessarily the whole room, but we were using part of it. We couldn't have done that contract without it.
Yeah.
This past year, we've started adding more and more medical business.
Right.
And there's certain things that are implantable in your body that have to be built in a clean room.
Absolutely.
So, it's just, I'm now glad that I've kept it all these years.
Well, I mean, because it's becoming, quite a thing now. There's quite a few companies now putting clean rooms into their manufacturing spaces. But I mean, I'm assuming this is allowing you to open up and bring in other types of work.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's helped you considerably.
Yes. I mean, and that's it. We right now don't have any products that are exclusively built in the clean room, but we have at least 2 jobs, and I think we're in the running now for a third one that we would have just because we have a clean room.
Right.
So we have that capability to do part of the job, and then it moves out on the regular floor.
Right.
And I don't know that it's paid for itself, but it's on its way to being a good investment after only 20 years.
You've certainly got patience, that's for sure. One of the other things that you're very good at and very well known for is your training aspects. You have a lot of training projects that you do for companies,
right,
in your facility in Huntsville. Tell us a little bit about that and how that works, and then we'll move on to talking about actually people and sourcing people for the industry.
Okay, well, we've got 7 full-time instructors. We've got 3 classrooms in Madison, Alabama, which is the Huntsville area. And we've got 2 classrooms, 1 facility in Houston, Texas. And then our instructors spend about half their time on the road at teaching at customers' facilities. But we do just about all of the IPC standards, that we're a certification center for those.
Right.
The primary ones are the J Standard 001, the 610, which is the inspection, and the 7711, which is a rework repair. We do some in the other of the other specs, but those are the 3 big ones.
Right.
We're also the only private company right now that can do NASA certification, which is convenient there in Huntsville, right off the Marshall Space Flight Center.
Yeah.
And we're limited in what we can do on those, but there's certain types we're authorized to do.
Right.
But that's been a big thing for us. We also do a lot of customized training, where you come in and you say, we want to meet this spec, but we don't do this part of it, but we do have this extra thing that we do.
Right.
And so we have people that are really good at writing lesson plans and develering that, and
making up a sort of hybrid program.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting area for sure. But I mean, do you find it more effective training people in-house than necessarily at their facility? Because 9 times out of 10, you get people training at their facility and you get pulled away.
Well, yeah, and you're exactly right. We do train the trainer, where we'll train you and you go back and train your staff.
Right.
Or we will train your staff. Most of the time, people don't want to bring 10 or 20 or 30 people in from out of town for the training, so we go there.
Right.
But you're exactly right. If we go there, there's always phone calls, and it's like, okay, we've scheduled training for this week, but we didn't know this emergency was going to come up. And you know, most of the time the emergencies are like, it's Tuesday. They always come up. And so it is a more controlled environment. We also, while if we're doing it in your facility, you have your equipment, but most of the time your classroom's not set up as well as ours is, to where you have all the equipment that you need.
Yeah.
So it's if we can get you into our facility,
it's going to be much more effective.
You know, we can really. It's more conducive to the learning environment.
Yeah. So, final question, David. How are you finding the landscape at the moment for sourcing skilled people?
It's tough. You know, we are. We in addition to, well, as we talked about at the beginning, we are a contract manufacturer. And our business was up over 40% last year. It's up about another 15% on top of that this year.
Wow.
So as a result, we've needed people. And it's hard to find the people trained. I mean, I think we have the best training program in the world. Okay, I say that. I'm happy to say that.
Right.
And but the problem is, if we bring you in off the street, we can put you through those training programs, but when you're done, you have 3 weeks worth of experience. And I have projects that I can't put you on with 3 weeks of experience, no matter how good you were.
Yeah.
So, so we're out looking for people with experience, and they're just not. There don't seem to be that many available.
Right.
We have tried hiring them ourselves. We've used temp services. We've used lots of referrals from employees, and we have mixed results with all of those.
So what do you think is the answer to this? I mean, do you think, getting a closer liaison with the universities and that sort of thing to try and, if you like, sell the prospect of working in an electronics factory to these people?
Well, we work with the local high schools.
Right.
But we also, Calhoun Community College is in our area, and they do a great job of doing training for workforce. The universities, those are more where we get the engineers.
Right.
But the technical college, the community college, has been a good source of people, except there are a lot bigger companies than us that are trying to find those same people.
Yeah.
So, they can go in and say, well, you got a class of 20, we'll take all of them.
So,
and where
is the problem more at the operator level, or
yes.
is it? Yes, it is.
Yeah, operator level is
okay.
Is where we have our issues.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, it's you're not alone in that challenge.
No,
I'll tell you that.
No, and I know there are a lot of smart people working on solving it.
Yep.
And so hopefully we'll come back here next year and tell you how great it's been.
Anyway, it's always nice to catch up and
Hey.
find out what's happening at STI, and thank you for coming in.
All right. Hey, thank you for what you do. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you.
At Kaizen, we know it's the science that makes the difference. The right solutions happen when you care enough to ask the right questions. And we understand that your performance is directly related to ours. Science knows why it works, care knows why it's important.